Okay, welcome. My name is Drew, and this is going to be a hopefully helpful outline of how to install your bed. So I'm going to run through this, and then I have a video that I'm going to commentate over that should provide a visual. Um, so the first step when you want to hang your swing or your bed is locate your ceiling joists. They're going to be on either 16 or 24 inches center. Um, just depending on how your house was framed. Sometimes newer houses will lean towards 24-inch centers, whereas older or a custom built home would be 16 inches on center. And typically these joists are going to be running perpendicular to your house. So if your house is facing this way, your joists are going to be coming off like that. So a way you can locate them is to look for, like, if it's a tongue and groove ceiling, you'll be able to get up on the ladder and you'll see tacks in between the seams, and they should be running in a linear pattern off of your house. So you'll be able to see, you know, where they've actually nailed the tongue and groove or the board to the joist. And you can confirm that by take a measuring tape and then measure to the next line of tacks. If it's 16 or 24, you've likely located your support joist. On beadboard ceilings, a lot of times they're painted over, so you're going to look for just places where they might have missed caulk, or sometimes you can see a head of a nail that's sort of it's making an indentation out of the board. And same process. Once you think you've located a joist, you can always double check and measure if it's 16 inches. If it's a vinyl ceiling, so the plastic type material, the only way you can really do it with confidence is to take a panel off. They just snap together like this. So you can get a hook. They make a special tool for it, but sometimes just any kind of hook will work, and you can undo that snap, and it's super easy to pop back into place. Um, yeah, and so it's really, once you found one, you've determined your pattern, and then it's easy from there. Sometimes if you're putting the bed on, if it's a wraparound porch and the bed's going on the corner, sometimes the framing can be a little bit different, so it'll take a little bit more time, but it still should be pretty straightforward. Um, but you want to go ahead and mark out all of your hook placements before you drill one, so that way you don't get to the last one and realize that you you can't hang the swing from where you originally thought. And that's marking hook placement right here. So on a twin size bed, the ideal hook placement is 80 inches by 32. So if you're facing the swing perpendicular to the house, that works out perfect if your joists are 16 inches on center. So again, if your house is right here, the bed's facing this way, your joists off the house are going to be one right here, one right there, one right there, 60 inches on center. And you have the full length of that joist to mark your 80 inches. Um, Sometimes if you're facing and that works out fine too if you're facing the swing parallel with the house as well, if the joists are 16 inches on center. um, I need to add yeah, so that's the ideal. um, Sometimes if your joists are 24 inches on center and it's parallel with the house, since 80 inches isn't a multiple of 24, you'll have to step up to 96 inches. So the ropes will be coming off the swing in sort of a V pattern. Um, just something to consider. That's for the twin size. The crib size ideal placement is 56 by 24. That's sometimes a hard orientation to get. That basically, your joist would have to be 24 inches on center, and you would have to be facing the swing perpendicular to the house. It's not super common that happens, but a 56 by 16 is also a common hook placement for a crib. Um, the swing, the crib bed, if you hang it like that, it will swing a little bit more. Um, if you do a 16 inch on center, so the ropes, if you're looking at the swing from the side. The ropes are going to be more like that. Gives it more of a swing back and forth. That brings us to um, the hooks off the back wall. 16 inches is about the minimum that I like to, the back wall or the back rail. 16 inches is about the minimum I like to put the hooks. 20 inches is preferred. If you're hanging a crib swing or even a twin, so a twin preferred depth is 32 inches. If you have to hang it in that 80 by 24, I would try to plan to give yourself a little bit more room off the back wall because it's going to swing more. Um, yeah, maybe try to get it closer to 24 inches off the back wall if you have to hang it in either of these, that orientation or that orientation. And then if you're looking to find the center of your space, so you're going to measure instead of picking a spot and then going and measuring 80 inches from it and then sort of just guessing and checking, you'll want to measure the entire width of the space. So let's say from the ceiling closest to the house to the ceiling closest to the other side of the porch, close to the yard or wherever, is 96 inches. You're going to subtract 96 inches by 80 inches. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So you're going to make that first measurement 8 inches off your house, put the hook, and you should be able to just go on the other side and measure 8 inches off of that, and that's going to give you your 80 inches for the width. Pretty straightforward. Once you've got all your hooks marked, you can drill the pilot holes. It's if you're not 100% sure, likely it's gonna be the first time you've done this. If you're watching it, I would always start with a small bit just to confirm that you're drilling into solid material. Preferably, the bit should be at least an inch long to get past the whatever type of ceiling you have. I start with an eighth inch or smaller, and then when you've confirmed that you're in solid wood, you can step up to a quarter inch, look at the drill from both front and back, make sure you're drilling straight up and down, and then follow that with a 3/8 inch bit, and that's going to be the correct size to make sure that screw hook is snug. And then when you screw in the hooks, you're definitely going to need a screwdriver will work, or an Allen key, just something, because it's going to be a lot of resistance when you're screwing that in. Um, and then when you hang the bed, so we carry 14-inch blocks with us to prop the bed up to make it easier to get level. Um, you can use anything, a small stool, just you can get creative with it. 14 to 16 inches is ideal. I think in this video I'm going to show you we ended up using the box the rope came in, so it doesn't nothing fancy for that. Um, so when you have your rope, we the easiest way to keep it level over time and to make sure it's level when you first hang the swing is run the rope in a U pattern. So you're going to take the one end of the rope, go through both eye bolts at the bottom, go up to the top of the swing, tie off your knot, and then you'll have that full length of rope on the other end. You'll just take it, bring it up to the second hook, make sure all the slack's out of it, hold it up to the point where the hook is, then take about a foot and a half more, just and give yourself more if you feel like you need it to tie that second knot. Then I'll mark that spot on the rope, cut it off, and then tie the knot, and then just repeat the same process on the other side. So hopefully that's helpful. Now let's hop over to the video and let's see where we started. Okay, let's full screen that. So what? Let's go back a little bit further. So this is a vaulted ceiling. It's a little bit more complicated to find the distances, the 32 inch or the 16 in particular. Um, yeah, I mean, you can you it's best to know the pitch of the roof, but if that is an issue, you could just reach out to us and and ask. and this is sort of a rare case. This type of ceiling right here, this is just sheetrock, and what you can do is when they paint over it, you can see the nails when you get up close to it. So what I've done is I've found one hook or one nail somewhere on this line right here. I've confirmed another hook 24 inches or 16 inches somewhere, or another joist 16 or 24, and I've located the pattern. And then what I've done is measured 20 inches off of this wall right here and drilled up. So starting with that small pilot bit, sort of blocking the camera, and then coming around with the large hook. Then I've got a screwdriver right there, and I'm just screwing that hook in. So that's the first one. Then I'm just moving up to the second one and measuring 32 inches um, in this direction. Should be noted if your ceiling is vaulted, the joists are going to be running parallel with the house, not perpendicular. So I'm finding my 32, doing a little trigonometry to find where that's going to be at, and repeating the process. Doing the same exact step on the other side. Almost there. Okay, so this is a good spot. Okay, so this is the bed on the ground. You see how we're gonna take an end of the rope and run it through both eye bolts at the bottom, and we're gonna go all the way to the top and tie off that rope. We've got this. That's our rope box serving as our block, and this other end of rope is coming direct from the spool. So that's the long end. We're taking that all the way up to the top, measuring about a foot and a half off, and then cutting it off. And then tying off that knot. We don't do any special knot. Normally, just one is enough. You just want to make sure that you get all the slack out of that knot. And you can even give yourself a little extra and double or triple knot it. Like one wrap around, two wrap around, three wrap around. Just if you have the rope, why not? And then just repeating the same exact process on the other side. If you do it with four separate ropes, so you have a knot at the top of the ceiling and a knot at the bottom, um, some, if that's the aesthetic you're going for, that's fine. It's just a little bit harder to get level and keep level over time. And that's it hanging. And then, so what Alex just did right there, so you can lift the bed up from the front or back, and that's going to adjust your pitch. And then what we'll do is we'll go through on each side and just push down on the bed to get all the slack out of the rope, and you might have to adjust at that point if it's not level. Um, yeah, and if you had, so like this ceiling in particular, we had to put the hooks on 96-inch centers. That's why these ropes are V'd out a little bit because these joists were 24s, and 80 inches is not a multiple of 16. If we put it at 80 inches, these ropes would be straight up and down. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll send you the link to this video as well if you need it. So let me know. Thank you.